Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Star Trek Warp Onyx campaign, continuing the tales of Security Lieutenant Archibald. And today we talk about first contact with the Vebulaxians. So Enterprise NX-01 is continuing forward, and it is currently in the beta quadrant. Okay, they had dropped off Klang at Kronos, and they've been continuing forward. And at this point, they're using their maps, and they come across the Vebulaxians. So the Vebulaxians are a species that have their planet is Vebulax, and the species who lives there are the Vebulaxians, right? And so Sato brings this information to the bridge crew, and they all look at it together on the observation deck. And she explains that there's an opportunity to have first contact with the Vebulaxians, and that she would like to lead that away team so that she can learn their language, right? So she explains what Vebulax is, and she explains who the Vebulaxians are. So the Vebulaxians are exactly the same size and have all the same attributes as humans, except for their skin. So their skin is orange with large vein matrices that go across their entire body, and these that are purple. So they're orange, they have orange skin with purple vein matrices, and the blood inside their bodies glows so that these vein matrices can actually emit light, and they and the Vebulaxians have the ability to change the colors to change the intensity of their vein emanations, right? And this is how they communicate, right? And this is the only way that they communicate. So they are exactly like, oh, by the way, they have no hair anywhere. They're hairless, right? So, but they still have a mouth and a nose. They breathe the same way we do. They have, ears. They hear the same way we do. They even hear the same way we do, right? But all of their communication is nonverbal. They only communicate with these vein emanations. Now, Sato is extremely excited about this because humans don't have any ability to even match this, right? But so this is a huge opportunity to speak with them, because many of the other species, Starfleet species, Vulcans, Ferengis, Cardassians, oh wait, are the Cardassians members of the Starfleet? That's a good question. Yes, they are. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's another thing, man. We play and we're like, wait a second, what was because we're in the Enterprise time. So, but it's and also this is there's, oh my gosh, it's almost 50, it's 57 years old. Holy cows. So Star Trek is 57 years old. There's a lot of questions around it. We do the best we can to just, move forward. So Sato's really excited about this, and she asked Captain Archer to allow her to do this away mission and to to do first contact with the Vebulaxians. Captain Archer goes around, gets everybody's take. T'Pol says that she does not think that this is a good idea, but everybody else is on board, right? And so Sato forms her away team. She takes Tucker, she takes Archibald, she takes herself, and she takes another member of the crew, kind of like a red shirt, right? And they all go down to the surface. When they get down to the surface, Sato begins communicating them, and she is holding up monitors, right? So she holds up two monitors, and then she uses computer controls to flash patterns that emulate what the Vebulaxians use. So she's able to talk. So they all go down, and there's this huge open field, right? And it's on top of a hill. There's beautiful sunset on Vebulax. The air is completely breathable by humans, and the planet is mostly orange as well, mostly orange hues. There's a good bit of blue, right? But it's a beautiful planet. And so they go on this hill. that is surrounded by crystal clear blue water, and it's very picturesque, right? And so they go down to start talking to the Vebulaxians. So Sato begins speaking to the Vebulaxians. Oh, and by the way, the Vebulaxians are not a starfaring species. Okay. Also, don't forget Enterprise Enterprise, the series Star Trek Enterprise, and we started on. We literally started our campaign with session 1, with season 1, episode 1 of Star Trek Enterprise. That's where our story started, right? So, and our story has branched from the Star Trek canon show, and now we have a Star Trek Adventures canon narrative, which is quite interesting. And that is official Star Trek because it is an official Star Trek narrative, right? It's just not a television narrative. It's a tabletop narrative, that's pretty cool, right? I have me and one other player, the gold player. We have an official Star Trek narrative, an official Star Trek table narrative. That's powerful. That's the power of license. I really love that Modiphius made this, and they've done a spectacular job. So, all right. So, Sato brings them down, and they all get out of the shuttle, and they all go and start to communicate with the Vebulaxians, right? And the Vebulaxians are like, "Hey, thank you for coming. We're giving you this gift," right? And then they bring out these 6 deep like earthen pots that are filled with a fluid. Okay, and they said, "This is our gift to this is our gift to Starfleet," and specifically actually they say specifically, "This is our gift to the Enterprise NX-01." Right? They actually don't say Starfleet. They say, "This is our gift to the Enterprise NX-01," indicating that's to the entire crew of the Enterprise NX-01, which is really interesting because Vebulaxians are not part of Starfleet, right? And they're not acknowledging that this is being given to Starfleet. They're giving it to the crew of the Enterprise NX-01. So they give them these jars of fluid, okay? So at this point, as a gift, right? And so Sato begins to say thank you, right? But before we do that, I should explain how they communicated this. So first thing, Sato is blown away, and she gets really excited when she sees this. So when they go down, first, one Vebulaxian comes forward and says, "Hello, welcome to Vebulax," right? Then, and Sato knew that the Vebulaxians communicated like this. But then when the gift is brought forward, there's these special Vebulaxians. All the Vebulaxians, there's about 100 Vebulaxians up on this hill. But the high council of the Vebulaxians are these 3 people in robes who are near the center, right? So, and all the other Vebulaxians are not wearing any clothes, and that, and they do that so that they can communicate, right? So these other Vebulaxians are robed, right? So Sato is like, oh, and Sato is able to understand, "Hey, welcome to Vebulax. Hi, welcome to Vebulax." She's like, "Great, thanks." And then these 3 high command of Vebulaxians come forward, and they do something that Sato did not know was even possible. What they do is they take off their robes, and the moment they drop their robes, they begin synchronous movement, right? And so this synchronous movement is a different kind of communication that the Vebulaxians can do. And this is group communication. They're all talking to Sato in unison, together. And there are different words and different patterns that the Vebulaxians can make by emanating their veins in patterns. So they start to crisscross each other, right? So that, like, for instance, you have to be at a particular angle to even see the pattern, right? And so they say, "Hey, this gift is for the crew of the Enterprise NX-01," and so they gift them these 6 earthen pots of fluid, okay? And so Sato gets extremely excited, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, they're doing group communication," and so she's like thrilled, right? And she begins to and then she breaks out some more tablets, right? And she's going to try to do a group communication. So she hands a tablet to Archibald, she hands a tablet to Tucker, and she hands a tablet to the red shirt, right? And at that point, she's like, okay, we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden, right, one of the Vebulaxians from the 100 naked Vebulaxians, they're not wearing any clothes so that their, their vein emanations are clear. One of them runs out and starts shouting, red, 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 audibly, right? With their mouth, right? Which, according to Sato, is not, they don't do this. They don't communicate audibly with their mouths, right? The Vebulaxians. They are capable of it, but they choose not to, right? So at this point, all chaos breaks out, and basically, just a lot of chaos breaks out, and the Vebulaxians are upset, and some of the Vebulaxians start screaming. Other of the Vebulaxians start emanating, like, and Sato's like, they're angry, right? It kind of communicates they're horrified, they're angry, and this is extremely disruptive, right? And at this point, Archibald makes the decision, and then Archibald makes the decision, runs forward, and actually goes to the Vebulaxian and like puts his hand, I think he grabbed one of the robes, and then he ran over to the shrieking, to actually not shrieking, just shouting the word red, 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 right? And takes the cloak and puts it over this Vebulaxian to calm them, right? And then kind of like gives like puts his hand over his own mouth and tries to get this person to to calm down, right? And so he makes a roll, which is presence and security, and he does an extremely good job on the roll, and this works. He's able to settle this Vebulaxian down. But first contact again, that's going horribly awry, and that's where we're going to leave it right now. So that's where we are in the current story. I will continue very soon, finishing the story of the Vebulaxians. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion about Star Trek Onyx Star Trek Adventures Warp Onyx campaign that I'm running with the Gold player. I'd love to hear your humble opinion about the same. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.